Hi guys, my name is Ifemida Priscilla. You're welcome to Issues in Society podcast. I know you have missed me so much and I have equally missed you guys. But guys, please, I want to beg you this morning. Before we go into the main business, please, I cannot do this alone. Make sure you like my videos, you like my all my videos, you share my videos, you comment. Please, guys, I cannot do this alone. And there's no Ifemida Priscilla without you guys, and there's no Issues and Society podcast without you guys, please, I am begging you, please make sure you like my videos, share my videos, and also comment. You can also share our link to your friends on Facebook, on TikTok, and on Instagram. Thank you guys. So let's go to the main business for today. I have this important guest with me today. But before I introduce him, before I call him to introduce himself rather, I would say there are a lot of discussion on social media and on the society about real estate. A lot of persons have been like, oh, the hike on would I say on prices when it comes to lands and when it comes to houses in Abuja is going higher and higher every day. And I said, I care about you guys. So I said, yes, I would have to talk about this today. So, guys, join me as I welcome Honorable Zachary. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are welcome to Issues and Society podcast. Hope I got your name correct.
You get it correct.
Okay, please do a little introduction for my sweet viewers.
All right. My name is Honorable Dr. Najib Zachary.
Okay.
I'm the CEO of Clean Paper Synergy Limited.
All right, you are welcome to Issues and Society podcast once
Thank you
again.
so much.
So before we get into the main business of today, actually we're still into the main business, but before we go deeper, before I ask more questions, can you tell us a little about your journey when it comes to the real estate firm? How has it been?
Actually, the real estate business is, I would call it as a business that I was directed to by the Almighty.
Oh, it was a destined assignment from heaven.
Definitely. Because actually the real estate business, I was into an NGO.
Okay.
Because I own an NGO called Youth Ecosystem Support and Social Development Initiative.
Okay.
And during our work in the society, we try as much as possible to project so many proposals
Okay.
for the government to initiate into the system. But unfortunately, due to the government that we have, they never want to key interest in some of those ideas because Nigeria is a country filled up with corruption.
Okay, so wait, before you go on, I want to understand what you mean by the kind of government we have.
The kind of government we have is a system whereby whatever doesn't benefit personal interests will not be acknowledged.
You are trying to say that the Nigerian government is all about themselves. They don't care about the citizens.
They don't care about the citizens.
Are you for real?
Very real. So while we did so many of our proposals, we try to see how government can participate. We sent proposals to several ministries, but the only ministry that supported the project then was the FCT, which is by Dr. Let me call her by herself, Dr. Ramatu Tijani.
Okay.
Through the influence of one Alhaji Aliu Zakari of the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat. So we got her attention and we projected a farmers conference. Later we did FCT Climate Week. So after the project, we sat down to reanalyze our proposal. Because then we want to initiate an interest where real estates can be given responsibilities that will be of national value to our society. The real estates are just expanding their businesses without looking at the health aspect of the society.
Of the society.
While many people go into the bush, cut down the trees,
I just start selling,
transform it to building, to structures, and start selling without considering the green areas and others. So we try bringing that to life.
Okay.
If you observe, most of the estates we have these days don't have green areas, don't have trees around, and this tree is life.
Okay, so sorry, before you continue,
Yes.
sorry to cut you in. So are you saying most of the real estate firm we have in Abuja don't consider the citizens? They just consider what's coming into their pockets?
Definitely, because there are a lot of things, like, for example, we are having a plan which is through my company,
Okay.
Clean Paper Synergy Limited. We want to open our estate very soon.
Okay.
Our estate will be the best estates in the whole FCT. Sometimes it's not all about the structure, but about what comprises that estate.
Wow.
And the idea is there, and there we are going to project that. Everybody will testify that this is how estate should look like, not what we are having currently in Nigeria.
Okay, so thank you very much. We'll come back to this. So let's come back to the the high price of rent in FCT. What would you say about that? Because these days we've had like a lot of persons complaining on social media. If you go to different communities, you see people complaining that the price of rent is becoming very, very high. Do you feel it's from the agents or it's just from the landlords and their overhiking stuff? Or is still the government that should be blamed when it comes to price hike? What do you think about that?
Sincerely, the government they have a place, they have a role to play. Because why I say they have a role to play, they can standardize the price.
Okay. So
according to maybe the size of where you want to rent, or maybe the how facilitated the area is, all those things. They can put prices, standardize the price, then it will benefit the masses.
So while you were doing an introduction, you talk about corruption when it comes to the government. So I feel, or I don't know what you feel, I don't know what you think though. I feel the only reason why there is no board, why there's no board to take care of all these rent hikes and stuff is probably because of that same corruption. I think that's my opinion. So what do you think about that too? Because I feel the government should be able to set up a board that should be able to coordinate what is going on when it comes to rentage in FCT. Don't you feel that too?
Actually, I feel that too, but sometimes we need to think about our own consciousness.
Okay.
So if you are conscious enough about being human, and you believe in truthfulness, you believe in integrity, you too will consider what is going on within the community, so that when you are affecting somebody like you, you know that if it's right or wrong, you should know about it. So I'm a man that believe in integrity. Whatever I want to do, first is integrity. So that is why I told you earlier that we are coming up with a project plan that will surpass what you have right now. So it depends on the people, and it depends on how they intend to help us project such idea. Then that is where you will know if people are ready for change, for a better opportunity, or they want to remain where we are now.
Okay, from the question I asked you before and you answered. So are you saying that the probably landlords and agents doesn't have any issue or doesn't have a hand in it when it comes to price hike?
They have.
Okay, I really want us to talk about that, because the way and manner rent house is now very high. You see a one bed and they will tell you 1 million naira, not even up to a better standard.
No.
So what would you say about that?
What is it? You consider the current prices of building materials.
Okay.
You consider that as well. That is some in the aspect of landlords. But agents too, they have their own issue. If landlords say my house is 500,000, they will tend to make it 700,000. I think that is the place we need to come out, because they will still go back and collect agency fee from the client still
after
adding markup. So what we should do is to work with the landlord association of the FCT. I think they have landlord association of the FCT. Work with them. Then they will have, as I've said earlier, standardization of price. Yes, we know the price. Okay, when you are getting this is the price. When you are going for this is the price.
Actual price of a one bed. The actual price.
So if you are paying for something, you should be having the same receipts of what you're paying for. Not that you pay for 1 million, at the end of the day, you're being given 700,000 on the receipts. All those things has to be considered, so that whenever there is an issue, maybe if the client decide that, okay, I don't like the premises again, I want to change. So there shouldn't be issue of, okay, I paid 1 million, why am I being given 700,000? So I think on the responsibility is vested upon the landlord association to tackle that. So in terms of the landlord, some of our landlords are really trying, because considering what we are passing through in this country now, in this particular government, everything has increased. So it has actually increased that by more than 300%. So if a landlord that was collecting 200,000 before wants to still remain within 200,000, he will not actually gain from his own renting.
But since he built, I think sorry, I don't know how to put it. Since the building has been there 5 years ago, why would this recent price affect the building that has been there?
You consider the renovation aspect, because when you are renting a house, you'll be like considering that, okay, as I'm paying for this house, the landlord should do this and that, and you can't just enter a house without renovation. So we should also consider that is prior to that renovation that do cause hike in price of that particular apartment.
All right, so thank you. Let's move to another section. How long have you been in the real estate then?
I've been in the real estate for more than 10 years.
So you are like a legend when it comes to real estate.
Let me just say, currently within 3 years, that is when my company have started surfacing properly. But we've been we've been on a rooted what will I put it? We've been from the grassroots, whereby we were coming like an agent before we decide to
go into
yes.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So recently there've been a whole lot of issues and reports that we've been receiving about agents selling a particular land for two different persons. Have you had a situation like that?
Yeah, it's a normal thing that happened within land selling.
Have you done something like that?
No, I haven't. I don't do. That is why I told you earlier that my integrity matters.
Okay.
There are people that have purchased land through me, and they've not even seen the land up to today, and with their documents, because they are not in Nigeria. I have their documents intact. And during the time they bought those land, they bought it at the rate of maybe like 250. They bought it at the rate of maybe 500. Some bought it within 1 million. And now the lands are now selling for 5 million, 10 million, whereby if it were to be others, they want to resell those property and get another one for them. But I don't do that. I keep their documents intact, and I make sure time to time I visit the places to make sure that they are well secured for the person.
So you've really not had a personal case.
I've never double sold land to anybody.
Issues like that in this society?
So the way we should, I think our government or the administratives that are in charge of land allocation should be consistent.
Okay.
Because if you check the FCDA and area council and some of their consultants, they are not consistent. The reason why I say they are not consistent is that you may go to any of the FCDA consultants and get something. Then when you go back to the area council will tell you they don't recognize them.
Okay, so
and you may get something from FCDA, area council will tend to have their own, idea. So there should be a synergy between these people that make them one, whereby what you get from Mr. A should be the same from what you are going to check from Mr. B and C. That consistency is really needed in
So
Nigeria.
are you saying that from all this issue is starting from the grassroots, that's the
Yes.
FCDA and AMAC?
Of course, it's not only AMAC, all the area councils.
All right,
All
sir.
the area
So
councils.
moving to the next page, have you ever had an issue? Probably you were taken to court because of land.
I've never been to court because of land, but I've been wrongly detained in a police cell because of.
I would want to hear the story if you don't mind. I want to hear the story.
I was wrongly detained because of a particular property I bought.
You know, we have like a whole lot of issues like that.
Yes, and the police, our police force have a lot of things to rework on in their system because our police force are highly corrupt. They are very corrupted. So Nigeria need to work on that because this particular woman, I bought a land from the person she sold a land to because she's well known. I wouldn't want to call her name. No problem. So when I bought the land, during the time I bought the land was about a year and some months ago. I bought it for 1.5 million, and then the place is not developed. So when the place started developing and the land was actually on the road, so this woman now picked interest on that particular land. So when she picked interest on the land, so she decided that she want to cut part of my land to make a way, which I'm not aware of. I wasn't aware. Nobody consult me on that. So when I started, as of this year, I went to the land to start working because I want to start a plaza on that particular land. So she came and stopped us from working. So we stopped. So before you know it, some days after, because she was waiting for the person who sold the land for me to come. So after the person told her that actually this particular land was sold to me by the person you sold it to.
You have your documents?
Yes, I have my original documents, everything intact. So the woman insisted that she has already made a decision that this particular land must go, that except if I am interested for her to reallocate me to another place. So I insisted. After 3 days, I was at home. A police officer called me, an IPO, that I should come to a police station in Kuje, that the DPO want to see me. I said, for what reason? They said I should just come because he was told that I stole 250 blocks. I said, myself? He said, yes. That was what Hajia told him. I said, okay, I won't be able to make it the following morning. Let me just come right now that I'm available. So I drove my car to police station. While I got to the police station, I did not find him. I went directly to the DPO's office, trying to explain to the DPO. The DPO was not giving me a listening ear. So I went, then later the guy came in. When the guy came in, he now said, are you the one? They said yes. No, somebody came in. The DPO asked me to excuse him a bit. So I was outside when the guy came in. So the guy now, are you the one that I've been waiting for? I said, yes, I was the one waiting for you. Say, I just say you stole her block. I said, I did not steal Hajia block. I only had issue on land which I purchased some years ago from someone, and Hajia is claiming that she was the one that sold the land, and the person who bought the land never told him that he wanted to sell the land, that the person should have consulted her before selling the land to any other person. So that was what happened. So before you know it, the guy said I should write a statement. After writing a statement, Hajia called and instructed that I should be dealt with. And the guy, the IPO himself, just took me to cell. I slept in cell for 18 good hours. So why I say the country is Nigeria police is very, very corrupt. I wasn't allowed to speak my mind. No proper investigation. It was after I've slept for 18 hours in the detention. before I was given a listening year. And that was when I insisted that I must take the issue to Brekete family. The DPO insisted that no, that she doesn't want the matter to go out from this police station.
So, sorry, from your explanation,
yes,
are you saying, or do you feel they were bribed to do that to you?
they were bribed.
Mm.
Yes, because for a police force to have favored one person against one person, you should know that there's a commitment there.
You know, in this country, when we talk about the government or we talk about agencies like this, I feel the issue starts from the citizens.
Definitely,
we're actually the ones spoiling this country.
Definitely.
If I would say,
Definitely.
because how would you bribe a police officer just because of his or her uniform to deal with a citizen? That's abuse of power.
So later, the woman came to the police station, and while she was insisting that she has understood that I wasn't the one that parked her block, but what she just won that land, they should tell me to forfeit the land so that she can issue me.
The land?
So what will I do? Because I try even getting to certain authorities. So I see that everything is not really working properly because of the woman herself and the status within the area we are, not outside the area. The authorities within the area are already working for the woman. So I don't have any choice than to just let go.
You know, a whole lot of person abuse power these days.
So and later she pleaded that I should forgive her and that we should forget and forgive.
After collecting the land,
and she still collected the land and relocated me. So,
that's serious.
So we just have to forget and life goes on.
That's true. Life
goes on.
Okay, thank you very much for the story. I enjoyed it. Even though that was brutal, but I enjoyed it. So talking about SCT, recently we've had a lot of stories like it was alleged. Let me use the word alleged because I don't know how authentic the story is. It was alleged that the FCT minister, that's in person of Honorable Minister Wike, that he has been seizing a whole lot of properties from different persons just for his personal use. It was alleged. I'm not saying I know about it or I saw something like that. It was just alleged, and I'm bringing it up to you as a real estate person in Abuja. What would you say about that? How authentic do you think that is?
Since actually, the last time Wike visited our community, which is in Kuje, I think there was a question that was raised, which he answered. They asked him that there's an information circulating that he's revoking people's land. He said he doesn't have business in revoking people's land. And for him to have confidently stated that in so many people's presence definitely shows that he's not something he's doing. Because if there was people that have been that their land have been taken illegally, people over there would have spoken. So to me, Nigeria, we like cooking up stories that are not available, that are not on this. So to me, I've never experienced it, and I can't really say that Wike is doing us bad now, because I'm seeing a lot of his good job in Kuje Council where I base. And to me, is appreciation I will give to Honorable Yinsom Wike.
Okay, still on that, what would you say about demolition going on and off recently? Like, we've heard a lot of stories about demolition in different places, and some persons are crying.
Yes.
Like, Nigerians definitely will have something to say that they were not given a prior notice to demolition. So what would you say about that? And how would you advise the government to handle stuff like that?
Since actually, if you observe what is happening, is actually what has happened before. For example, a developer will just go into any land, cleared it, and start developing. So, and in other way, they maltreated some people. They oppressed some people to take over their lands and resell to some people in the name of having an estate. So if today's government find it very unworthy and they decide to take over the property back so that they can reallocate it to the real original owners, I think that is the best thing. That is the justice.
Don't you think it's too harsh on the citizens?
Yeah, actually, that is why we do tell citizens, whenever you want to acquire a property, try get it from the good source. Don't get your property from the bad source, because when the repercussion come, it will definitely affect you. I'm into the business and I know what is going on in the business. Like currently in Kuje, there are so many developers that have entered Kuje, grabbing people's land. As I'm speaking to you right now, some of my lands fall into some developers' area of interest. So we are still on negotiation.
Okay, from what you said, you're into the business and you know what's
Well, I
happening.
know what is
I
in the
really
business.
want to know because me, I'm the voice of my viewers. So
The-
forget it that they are not here. They are here. Oh, they are not sitting down. So we want to know what is happening in the business because we've heard a lot of stories. Like if you go on social media, just type real estate on your search bar and you'll see a whole lot of stories about
I
real estate firms in Abuja.
I can tell you that I'm still a child in this
Yes.
business. I don't have the whole knowledge yet. I'm still learning from people that are ahead of me.
Okay.
So I can't tell you everything that I believe is what is happening. So I think we may still have time to discuss
To
and
discuss
rediscuss.
more about real estate. Okay, I will take you on that.
All right.
Next time you come to Issues and Society podcast,
All right.
you will tell us that in total and in totals about real
By
estate.
God's
I would want
grace.
to hear
And
it.
by then we are praying to be
Okay,
better than this
by the special
financially and
by the special grace of God.
morally. Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, I would want
Yes.
to ask, what do you feel about real estate and the government?
Mm,
You know, it's a two thing.
yeah.
It's as if two corruption alleged. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the government is corrupt
I
actually,
know.
but it's as if two people, two organizations that are
Mm.
showing us a whole lot of shaggy is coming together. So what would you say about real estate and the government coming together in Abuja? Because we've had a lot of stories that they say, "Oh, I got a land and it was collected from me by an agent or by a real estate firm, and I went to the police station and I seek the help of the government and I'm not even getting anything productive about it." So, what would you say about stuff like that, and how would you advise the masses to take proper precautions before they get a land, any landed property in Abuja?
So actually, on this aspect, the government really need to do better, which is particularly the FCDA,
Okay.
because I don't see police force to be on land matters,
Okay.
because police cannot handle land matters properly the way the
FCDA will
FCDA
do.
will handle it.
Mm.
Police doesn't have any records of land allotted. So that is why you see police are always biased when it comes to land matters. The FCDA should initiate a better body that will focus solely on land buying and selling, even if
Mm.
it can be a limited liability company, but under FCDA, so that they will have access to the FCDA system. I know I learned that they are trying to revive arteries.
Mm.
So there was a time I took a land search to arteries, not quite long, and it was checked on the system of arteries, and I was told that the land is not on system. But when I took it to FCDA Kuje
It was
Council at
there.
Area 11, it was there. So they should, if they want to make use of the arteries, they should give them, they should equip them with good gadgets so that they can have access to every data that is needed when doing this search. You cannot write on a paper and scan it, then upload it on your system. When client come, you start checking the paper you scan. What if there is a new development on the land, or there is a change of name on that particular land, or there is maybe, or the land has been sold to this other person? So all those things, the FCDA need to look into it. So that
Okay.
that is why I said it from initial. I say if you get something from Mr. A, since Mr. A, B, C are in the same scenario, when you go and search from Mr. B, it should be the same. So FCDA has a lot of work to do on land matters.
Okay, sorry, before you
Yes.
continue, I would want to ask, why do you feel there's no government bodies there to regulate rentals and house like buying of landed properties? Why do you think there's no government bodies?
Why I think there is no government body into renting and buying is actually because the, the presence of government involvement in such is not really is not surfaced. I
Okay,
can't
so
feel it.
so
So
you feel the government doesn't really
yes,
they don't really care about
about
housing and
no
landing
no
when
no
it
no
comes to
no 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 like to rent and all those things.
they don't
They
care
don't
about.
care. So that is why I say if they can register a body that will maybe they work with the landlord association, maybe form something like that. Even if it's not existing, if it is not existing, they should make it exist. So it will also be a means of income generation for the government. Because okay, if you want government to help you assess something, or for there's a levy you're going to pay for consultation, so it's another way of generating income.
Okay, so how would you advise the masses as my viewers? I told you my viewers are my sweethearts.
Actually,
So
my
how would you
advice
advise the masses when it
my
comes to
advice
buying of
is that
landed properties?
whenever someone is getting property,
Mm,
whatsoever kind of property, you should make proper investigation in order for you to know that the property is genuine, and also try to know the standard office of who you are getting the property from. That matters a lot. So that whenever, because land will also always have issue.
mm,
Whenever there is an issue, you
you
can
can
relate
sort it
back
out.
to the office you bought it from. Then the office will now go back to where they got the source of the lands or properties from. So that is my somebody cannot just come to you, give you papers, then you sign on the main road and you think you purchased land. It's wrong.
Okay, sorry. Before we go,
Yes.
I have another question.
There's no problem.
So, some persons are saying that they are hike like there's a whole lot of hike in Abuja just because the agents or probably landlords or real estate firms are targeting politicians and wealthy ones. What would you say about that? Is it really because they are targeting politicians and rich persons?
Persons.
Is that why the hike is so much, or is just because of the 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 building materials, like you said before?
Actually, the building material is one of the basic,
Okay.
but the agents that are adding markup to every house pay, some of the citizens gave them the opportunity to do that, because today you are in this building now. If today you want to leave because maybe the landlord just decide to increase the rent, you will see somebody that will be standing beside the gate that please quickly pack off so that I can go inside. It has happened. I've seen it. You understand? So if a house is for 200,000 and the landlord just decide to make it 400,000, you see somebody that want to pay for it. Why? Because they have the resources. Nobody is considering the poor masses any longer. So that is why we really need to watch on our consciousness, our integrity, so that whatever you do, you think about the next person beside you, because you know at any time you can die. Think about your ending part of life so that you can treat with care. So that is what I have to say.
Okay, so you are saying this should be a collective work
Yes, it's
between the government
between the
and the
government and the
masses.
masses. Yes,
Okay, thank you very much,
you're
sir.
welcome.
Another thing I would say,
Mhm.
so with the way you talked about your estate
Yes,
coming up very
by
soon,
God's
I
grace.
think it's a very nice thing for the masses. They
Mm.
would want to know more about it. So I'm giving you the opportunity because I know my masses will love it. My viewers will love it. So I'm giving you opportunity to tell us little more, just little. Just give me let me give you like 2 minutes to tell us few things about your estate.
Actually, my estate is high coast estate.
Okay.
So we are working on so many things that is a teamwork, but which I can't disclose right now.
All right, no
So,
problem.
but when it starts, I think this place will be the first place to come so that we can do the.
We've got a deal. Should we make a bet?
Definitely. Don't
Would you
worry, I'll
mind?
definitely come. It's
Alright, no
okay.
problem. So we'll have a bet.
Yeah.
So you will come and tell us about. Sorry, I've forgotten the name.
About High Coast Estate.
High Coast Estate. So when High Coast Estate is out, you guys will be the first to grab it. I promise you, Kenneth. All right, thank you so much for coming to Issues and Society podcast. Thank you for being here. We loved it. And your story, it was heartbreaking, but it was interesting. We loved it. All right, guys, thank you for staying with us today. Sorry. Make sure you like, you share, and comment on all our videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook at Issues and Society Podcast. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Kisses. Bye.